Welcome to the Heart is in Your Hand video. We made this video to make it easier for you guys to remember the heart's anatomy. I basically got this idea when we had the anatomy and physiology exam and had to remember a lot about the heart. So I thought, how can I make this creative and easier? I usually work as a medic, and I've seen a couple of chest pains, and the patient always holds himself up by the chest, and I saw the resemblance by the heart and the hand, and the heart is actually the same size as the hand. All you need is your left hand, specifically your left hand, black, red, blue, and green marker, and try to stop the video, pause it, so you can catch up on the drawing. And if you really want to learn this the best way possible, you need to teach someone else afterwards. Pay it forward, and you will notice as soon as you teach someone else, you will actually learn it better. So here we go. We start with the thumb and draw number 1 on the thumb and number 2 on the index finger. The number 2 is the bicuspid valve. And then we go on to the mid finger with an A, P on the ring finger, and a 3 on the little finger. The X is on the thumb, which is the apex. And then we go on and draw on the nails the 2, A, P, 3 on your fingernails represent the valves. And we do a function test where you put your thumb next to your little finger and you will read apex if you've done things in the right way. So again, we put the valves inside our hand and we dot out the valves. Now we have the valves inside our hand. Do a check again, see that everything's in the right place. And then we dot out the chambers. We want to mark them specifically in 4 chambers, and we do the right side in blue, including the pulmonary and tricuspid valve, and then we do the left side red, including the bicuspid and aorta valve, and then we check again that the valves are in the right place and the apex is down on the thumb. We then move on to the pulmonary veins in the left atrium. Notice the 4 red circles inside of the left atrium. Moving on to the ascending aorta, right above the aortic valve, we also see the coronary arteries leave. Check out the cool photo of the coronary arteries. Now we're moving on to the arcus aorta. It will be right above your radial pulse. We'll include 3 heads on top of the arcus. And don't forget your ABCs. It's to remember the ascending aorta, the brachiocephalic artery, the common carotid artery, and the subclavian artery. The D on the downside is the descending aorta. So don't forget your ABCs and D. Moving on to the pulmonary arteries, right above your pulmonary valve is the truncus pulmonary. We'll write PA in the center to represent the pulmonary arteries. Look at your thumb and put on a PV for the pulmonary veins. Then we move on to the inferior vena cava on your little finger. Then we do the superior vena cava above the heart on the ulnar side. Clench your fist and check out your heart. Moving on to the inside of the muscle, we open up the thumb and write myo on the inside, and then we want to do the endocardium on the inside of the left ventricle, and on top we do the epicardium and the pericardium, which is a part of the bag which is surrounding the heart. The Purkinje fibers is in with the muscle. Moving on to the septum, the intraventricular septum. Then we do the SA node, and then we do the AV node, which is part of the conduction system. Then we see the Purkinje fibers again from the left bundle branch. Then I like to mark out the left ventricle, the left atrium, and the right ventricle and the right atrium. before we move on. We do a test. We can play some guitar, do some grips. We see that the numbers, the 2 and 3 go together, and the A and P go together, which is the valves closing. So what we do now is we put lub on the little finger and the pointing finger, and we have dub on the mid finger and ring finger to make the lub dub sound. We do the lub 2 and 3 together and the dub together. Lub and dub. End off by doing the apex check again, and you'll notice that the pointing finger or your index finger with the 2 on it is the only valve that has 2 cusps, the bicusp. Please check out the additional info at the end. Please pause it at any time to catch up. And our goal is actually that you don't have to write on your hand to remember this. You just have the landmarks on your hand and associate your left hand with your heart. You can play around with this on the bus, on the train, on the plane, wherever you go. Just have fun with it and dare to be creative.